Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
We enjoyed it quite a bit. Donnie, how do you like being more recognizable now in the United States than before because you're making that transition to the American market?
I think it's always a plus, to have more and more people appreciate your film. I mean, that's our objective, to make film is to share in such a mass target audiences, right? And the world is getting smaller and smaller. So it's not Chinese or whatever, if a film done properly, that's the whole objective, is hopefully everybody can appreciate the value of the film itself.
And Mike, you've been re-immortalized in another video game. You're in UFC 2. How does it
That's
feel
pretty
back to be in the digital market?
Hey, at the moment, only thing I could do is just be grateful at the moment. I'll have something to say for it later. But right now, I'm just sucking it in.
Okay. And how hard was it to learn the Chinese lines?
It wasn't hard at all because once you do it, if you do it phonetically for me to spell it, I'll pass a Harvard test then. If you spell it out like that, then I'll pass.
Nice, thank you.
Okay, I have one question for each of you. Donnie, this is your fourth film with Wilson Yip. Since you have such a camaraderie...
Actually, it's the sixth film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What are the easiest parts of filming with someone that you filmed with a number of times before, and what are the hard parts when you work together so often?
We don't have a hard part. I always enjoy working with him, and he's a very timid, shy person. He doesn't really, he's not very expressive. So as an actor, if you don't know him, sometimes you really can't get a clear understanding of his directions. But I do know him, so we don't really, he doesn't have to explain to me. I can see, like, oh, is that what you want? Because, yeah, kind of that direction, and he's, oh, yeah. And then, there's no downside, so I'm going to continue working with him.
And Mike, of course, we know you from your huge history in boxing and your impact on the sport. When choreographing the fight scenes for the movie, how difficult was it for you to maneuver so you didn't hurt somebody?
Not too hard. I'm a professional.
It's very good control.
I'm not going to make any mistakes. If anything, I'm going to get hurt. The opponent, the person in front of me, he's not going to get hurt.
What was a typical scene like when you were filming the fight scenes? Like how, for those of us who don't act in
Long
that?
scenes, real long fight scenes, and not many cuts, so the scenes were prolonged. It was the best. It was the best I ever did in a movie. If I say which is the best movie, which is most simplistic, but I've gotten the most out of it from educational perspective, I would say this movie right here. I left this movie saying, hey, I got something. I'm more than what I was when I came here.
Morning, guys. Radio Raheem.
Hey, Radio Raheem. What? God, that's that Spike movie.
That's right. I noticed the cultures between boxing and martial arts are somewhat similar in that this is a master-pupil kind of storyline, and many boxers come up young under the tutelage of trainers. Obviously, the storied custom model with yourself, Mike. How did that kind of storyline and culture of martial arts speak to you, and was that a way for you to connect with the film and the plot?
Well, the whole, as far as the whole barometer of just being the role as the student or the pupil, whatever, I have that down to the pack. I know that. I know the bow down. I know the master's the master. I just know the master's the master, and I know that whole, like I said, the whole direction of the acting. I just know that I could play that role. I just know this is the role where it calls to be a lot humble. It shows more humbleness, and that's why only the greatest fighters are the most humblest, because they know what it's like to get their ass kicked.
For you, there's a lot of fighters out there, with names. Obviously, Mike is an icon. How did you decide on Mike Tyson, and what did you think he would bring to the role that no other boxer could?
I've always been a big fan of Mike, I mean, he's a legend, For me, it was a total honor and thrill to be able to not only work with Mike, but also fought in my third installment. So hopefully, Mike, you're going to return for the fourth installment?
God willing, I don't know what the future holds. I just want to live through today.
And lastly, guys, the hologram issue has been, a lot of it's been made of it. People thought we might see a Bruce Lee hologram, and you ended up having to hire an actor.
You know,
Can you-
I wanted to see that happen, but that's between the producers and the Bruce Lee's estate, you know, and it didn't happen. But I think this actor who he really looked like Bruce Lee, and he did a wonderful job, you know. So whatever it's worth, you know, I think this is the best. Beside the real Bruce Lee, this is the best you can get.
Thank you. Radio Raheem.
Radio Raheem.
So, Donnie, congratulations for this year. You have a great film released in the U.S. After this, I was just wondering, because this one has a lot of action, but for the Crouching Tiger, that one, and also the Rogue One, do you also have chance to do a different style?
So they're totally different,
Very
very different. Crouching Tiger is more of the short movie, you know, long hair, and like you're saying, flying up the roof and doing all kinds of ballistic, graceful movements against gravity, but Rogue One, Star Wars universe. So that's very different. For an actor, I'm very fortunate and blessed that I was given the opportunities of these three such different roles and movies.
We haven't actually seen you in the U.S., in the American films for a long time. I was wondering why you chose to go into
I didn't, you know, I never really purposely I'm going to be in an American film. I want to be in an American film, so I want to be in a Chinese film. You know, for me, I want to be in the films that I feel is appropriate, that carry the proper message, beside being the business side of it, the artistic side of it. But for me, it's very important to choose a film and to play a role that can represent, represents in a way where, as an actor, I feel certain social responsibilities, you know. So therefore, I like to use film as it's a powerful platform. I want to use film as a platform to carry out these positive images, especially to children.
I just want to add a little bit. I don't know if you can say, but is the character that you play in the role?
I can't really say, but it's going to be a great film.
Okay, thank you. And just a very quick follow on from Mike, did you get hurt when you?
Well, I broke my finger.
Is that like because he
Well, I
Oh,
hit-
totally accident.
I hit
I
him.
can't touch-
I hit him.
I can't touch Mike, you know.
I hit him. My finger.
Hi, Donnie. I'm David. If I'm not mistaken, it's been about over 20 years since you last worked with action choreographer Yu
More than 20 years, yeah.
20 years?
Yeah.
So how is it like finally, getting back together?
You know, it's funny, right? The last time I worked with him was 20-something years ago, and then it didn't feel like it was that long. Maybe because I grew as a filmmaker, as an action director myself, and he's been watching my films. It's kind of like, and of course I've been studying his films as well. You know, so this time around it was more of a mutual. It's like, we hung out yesterday and we are reuniting again. To be better. I mean, you've seen the film, so the work speaks for itself.
That's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
And since you, with SPL2, since you didn't do that one, is there any chance there might be a, sequel to maybe Flashpoint, something more contemporary?
Yeah, I'm gonna produce Flashpoint too. Yeah.
Oh, so that's
Yeah.
Wow, okay, that's great. Thank you.
My question is for both of you. What's the meaning of martial arts for you and boxing for you?
I don't know. There's so many different degrees of it, from a spiritual perspective, from a human perspective, from a physical perspective. I guess people call me boxer. I call myself a fighter. My whole life I'm just a fighter, and I learned the art of fighting is not fighting. And that's the real art of fighting. But sometimes we don't always master arts, do we?
Yeah. Well, I grew up as a martial artist. My mother teaches martial arts, and fortunately, I can use the upbringing and art into it turned into a career. Not intentionally, but everything happened for a reason. My backstory. I was brought into the industry. I was discovered by Yuen Ping some 33 years ago, right? And then I never stopped working, right? Very blessed. So for me, it's all part of the destiny, part of my life. This this is my life and it's part of the destiny.
And you both guys had like troubled teenage experience. So what's, this life experience, what did you learn from that experience? What do you say to younger you at this time of your life?
A younger me?
Younger you at the
Okay.
time, so it's like a.
Well, I have to say, from the relationships that I have with my son, that I might have told, a younger me might have told me today, go fuck yourself. That's what I'm dealing with now, so, and I'm saying to myself, his friends, any other kid would listen to me because of the dread, but he doesn't. And that just means that he is just so stupid. He's just so stupid, I just worry about my son.
Pretty much same with Mike, but more of a reserved way.
How about the teenagers who is having hard time, so what do you tell them?
As a parent, as a father, I'm still learning every day, you know. It's tough to grow up in society today, you know, and it's tough back then, it's even tougher now. So I don't know all the answers, right? And I'm trying to explore,
No blueprint, buddy.
right? So I'm just learning as they grow, and I'm growing with them.